support for humanitarian efforts and recovery and construction in areas of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Southern Sudan, and the Central African Republic affected by Lord Resistance Army activities. And it calls on the President to support efforts by the people of northern Uganda and the government of Uganda to promote transitional justice and reconciliation on both local and national levels. And it should be noted that this bill does not include any earmark.
I remain committed to seeing Senate Bill 1067 enacted into law as quickly as possible to help end the Lord Resistance Army's 23-year legacy of death and despondency in northern Uganda and the surrounding region. While I regret that the Senate failed to consider the earmark moratorium adopted by House Republicans, despite repeated attempts to highlight this issue, I appreciate the cooperative efforts to make clear that the bill before us today does not contain an earmark in order to help facilitate the progress of this, again, important human rights measure as well.
Secondly, I would just like to briefly urge members to support S-1067, the Lord's Resistance Army's Disarmament and Northern Uganda Recovery Act. This bill seeks to bring an end to the more than 20 years of terror propagated by the Lord's Resistance Army, known as the LRA in northern Uganda. The bill calls for an interagency strategy to stop the LRA's reign of terror, which has spread to neighboring DRC, South Sudan, and the Central African Republic, and to provide critical support to the innocent people, particularly the children, whose lives have been devastated by Joseph Kony and those who support him.
First business, H.R. 5138, International Maidens Law 2010, H.R. 5139, extending immunities to the Office of the High Commissioner Act of 2010, S-1067, the Lord's Resistance Army Disarmament and Northern Uganda Recovery Act of 2009. Will each be ordered reported without amendment. H.R. 4128, the Continental Trade Act, will be ordered reported with an amendment in the nature of a substitute just adopted. And I move that